Okay, it looks as though we are starting this live stream. Let's see. This is Peter. And we're going to be talking about the innovations in the construction industry and some tips and tools on how to find great advice and how to make better founder decisions. And the company that helps startups build powerful pitch decks. We might not go into so much the second story, but we will go into construction tech, which is a $10 trillion industry.
Give you all that dirt.
And you should be paying attention to it. So let's get right into it, Ellie.
So we are talking today about a $11.4 trillion industry globally. And that is construction. With that amount of money, you would think they are
Innovating big time, probably.
and drowning in tech advancements.
Right,
Yeah.
But it's a 5,000-year-old industry, the construction technology industry, since the days of the pyramids to now.
Right. But they're still stuck on just email and Excel, which is mind-blowing when we first found out about this, because you would think they'd be so into tech that they wouldn't have any idea what to do with it.
But what's the problem with Excel and emails? What's
too
difference?
fragmented.
It's too fragmented.
So
we have Slack nowadays.
We have Slack now. We have Salesforce, where it all just aggregates all the information that you need in one platform.
We have developers like LU building curated technological devices for specialized uses.
True. Yeah,
literally, not Excel sheets. Website. Literally, yeah.
It's pretty, we are living in an era where it's kind of crazy to not have a company, or it's kind of crazy to have a company that's not using some sort of aggregated database software, management software. But the whole construction industry is very lacking in all of this. I mean, right now there's a huge demand for let's put up the chart. Let's pull up the chart.
You want me to pull it? I have it right here.
So
it looks like construction tech funding, and basically the red, which is all the bar charts that you'll see, are the funding amount in millions of dollars from 2015 to 2020. And the blue line.
Is that blue?
It's blue.
The blue line is basically
AT&T right there.
We're not being...
We're not sponsored yet.
We're not sponsoring AT&T.
Not by AT&T,
FYI.
though. Just White Claws.
But the blue line is the amount of investors. So right now, we're able to see in 2020 that the amount invested is pretty decent. It's at what? Can you read that number for me?
For what year?
For 2020.
For 2020, it looks like there's 101 deals going on year to date, being this month, November. Right. So there's 101 deals, and we're getting this straight from the source. All right. So this is some real stuff. But there's been $1.2 billion in funding already this year in 2020.
And so this is good. This comes down to quality over quantity.
Wait, but why is it good? Because it kind of looks bad. That's the thing. Like the deal count looks like it's kind of going down.
Because the blue's going down. So
but the red is kind of going up.
This is good because this implies that you're having more money per investor or per entity investing, right? So that's better than if you're having more investors, but they're each putting in a small amount of money. So I would rather see that kind of trend, because that implies that there's more confidence in investments.
Right. Higher conviction trades. You have a high conviction toward a growth in an industry as an investor. You're going to put more money in there. You're going to double down because you have a better hand than the house or than other people. So you have an unfair advantage. So
right. It says more that I invest $5 in the whole goldfish tank market than if I invested $1.
Precisely.
I'm more confident that this is going to boom, so I'm going to put more money into it.
So although it looks as the deal count is coming lower, it actually looks as though their deal count relative to funding amount are consolidating and reaching a point of, I would say, equilibrium where the funding is meeting the demand.
They're meeting halfway.
And it looks like more companies are taking market share, or at least the companies that are delivering and innovating in the sense that the market is demanding.
The trend is there, and a lot of people are starting to see it. And I mean, construction is going to get infiltrated no matter what. By the way, goldfish tanks, they're booming right now. So if you want to get on that, buy wholesale, flip them on the market. You know,
cool.
you can make a quick buck.
Like the big goldfish tanks or the small?
Any goldfish tanks. People are living from home, so they're like decorating their rooms and like they're making more like aquatics in areas. Yeah.
Really? No.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So me and Peter found this article interesting because it shows a good sign towards the business to business
industry for the construction technology world.
Right.
And one of the big things that's going on in the construction technology world, based on this study, and forgive me, let me just pull it up real quick. A 2018 report found that skilled trade positions such as mechanics, electricians, welders, pipe fitters, carpenters were found to be the hardest roles to fill globally and in the United States for the 6th year in a row since 2018. And that was when deal flow was right here. Let me pull up the chart at $1.8 billion of funding.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that people were looking at the numbers in that way. But it's also much more interesting that the fact that mechanics, electricians, welders, pipe fitters, and carpenters are struggling to find, are the hardest roles to fill in the United States and globally.
And what would make this easier? A centralized database with all this information,
or an Uber or Fiverr of the sorts for subcontractors,
or social media for subcontractors. I mean, right? This tech would be crucial and very powerful in this space. But then again, we're relying on Excel and just email right now, which is amazing if you think about it. That's just a market prime for intrusion. That's where you can make some big money if you can find a solution. I mean, construction has been seen to not really be sexy, but I mean, that's where the money is, in the non-sexy niches.
Absolutely.
Right? You want to be a pioneer in the non-sexy stuff.
And the biggest thing for developers is finding great talent at a low cost.
Right.
And talent, it just so happens to be in this industry, are carpenters, pipe welders, and
tradespeople,
exactly. Yeah. And there's a company called Procore, right? Or is it Builders Connected? Procore.
This is not a workout company. I mean, it might sound like it, but this is a company that specifies on a data set where you can put all the information that pertains to a project. They're a project management software company. They're a SaaS company, software as a service, and they basically host a platform where you can just put all your project related stuff on there for everyone to see, everyone in the project, that is, not you and me. And why is that helpful? That is helpful because, well, I mean, you got all your eggs in one basket there. That's not even the good metaphor for that, but you have everything in plain sight. It's almost like Salesforce, if you guys are familiar with that, where a business is able to have a huge track record of a project with a customer, the subcontractors, the fundamentals, the economics, all of that. And that also is really handy for people that are just getting on the project because they have a history that they can learn from, and therefore the training phase of new employees is shorter, and that saves you money.
Yeah, it is. There's a big aspect of that I wrote down here. It says that project managers have an immediate access to information expertise based on this platform that connects them to the learning opportunities, the learning abilities to advance. And this company, Procore, has stepped into this $10 trillion industry and ultimately has had huge customer growth. The customers being the subcontractors.
Is that 1.3 million customers?
It's 1.3 million total users.
Wow.
So that means that there's a huge, 1.3 million of anything shows incredible demand. And it also shows an incredible solution within an industry that is valued at $10 trillion. What is it, 11.5 actually? It's probably 11. You said 11.
It's 11.4.
$11.4 trillion.
But that was 2018. Globally. It's probably a lot
more. So looking at it from this perspective, the revenues of this company are around $289 million. There's a 55% revenue growth from 2018 to 2019. And they're just continuously growing. So this company, Procore, let's see if I can pull up the website.
And what's interesting is that me and Peter found this, is that a good 82% of construction-related companies are planning to spend the same, if not more, on new innovative technologies. And 41% of those 82% are planning to upgrade their CMS, or better said, they're basically project management software. Well, this actually stands for, I think, construction management software. So that includes project management software, that includes fintech related finance issues, and all that good stuff. So, that just speaks that there is a lack of innovative technologies for the space, because that's a huge percentage of the overall majority, right?
I absolutely agree. I used to work in a company that was trying to solve this exact problem, more on the real estate side, but we worked with developers. And I just pulled up this website, Procore, which is ultimately this innovative solution that isn't really that crazy to think about. It's
pretty simple stuff.
It's a website where people who know how to do a skill look for other people who need that skill that they provide, and then offer their criteria. So you go on the site and it says solutions. And so they offer solutions to owners, general contractors, subcontractors, public sector, and whatever industry you're in, you'll just go. So let's say we're owners, and let's say we're developers of a building. Ellie and I want to build a building that has the AT&T logo on it for whatever reason.
And what they offer is a data set or a platform for you to put everything related to that project on there.
From carpenters to pipe welders and whatever. You need all those stuff.
Right. And so then we have another company called Building Connected, which is basically a social media for people that are looking to get contracted by a top dog in top project. And so what I found interesting about this company was that, let's say you and I, we're contractors. We want to start a big project. Let's say Peter and I are contractors. We want to do a vertical building.
Hire us.
Cool stuff, marble, everything. We want the best of the best. So we want to go on this website or this product, Building Connected, Building Connected, and we're going to be able to find the best rated people for the jobs we're looking for.
Not only that, it's real-time construction networks.
Right. Real-time construction
Meaning networks. That they're still alive and they're able to do the job.
And they're a network, so that means they're on the web and everything's faster.
And it's all for pre-construction. So this is for people who haven't built a building yet, are in the plans, they have the architects, or maybe they don't have the architects, but they have the money to do it, they have the relationships and the credit, and they need the people. They need the ones who are able to put the lines of electricity through the walls, the people who are putting the drywalls, the carpentry, the architecture, whatever it is.
You need a roof? You can find someone.
Go to Building
You need
Connected.
a fire toilet installment? You can find someone.
And the great thing is that the company that owns these bad boys is Autodesk Company. And let me just pull up the chart for Autodesk Company.
You know what that means?
Quick.
Some good stuff for you guys. They are publicly traded. So if you are looking to get into space but don't really want to start your own company or go through all that work, you can just put your money in Autodesk, and
we don't recommend it. We don't recommend this all educational purposes, but it looks like there's going to be a huge real estate boom according to the Case-Shiller Index. We're just saying, but look at Autodesk trading at $280.23 a share. And this is a fantastic opportunity for an industry that has not been disrupted yet. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because everybody's been trying to do it, but no one has figured it out, because you haven't had an individual like someone like Warby, which is ultimately our main source for all of this information. He's a subcontractor, contractor who's an entrepreneur as well, who built out a system like this or helped us understand the system like it. And ultimately, you have a company like Autodesk. We don't recommend, like I said, to invest in this company, but if you want to get into the growth and don't have the funds to purchase real estate, don't have the foresight or the knowledge on how to purchase real estate the right way to profit off of,
Here's your way in.
Here's your way in. Autodesk, the lumber industries, you have Lennar. We did an episode on this on the forecast for the elections. Nonetheless, Autodesk is doing it a different way. It's kind of doing the Fiverr of the business-to-business world for construction technology.
And so why are we so obsessed with the business-to-business right now? We feel like it's a huge industry that just hasn't been touched enough. So everything you hear right now that's big brand in tech is Amazon, Google, Facebook, all very
customer-facing.
All very customer-facing, all very consumer-based. But I mean, the really only big tech company out there, really business to business, is Microsoft. And that's because, I mean, they offer a lot of business tools and solutions, but they're also consumer based. You know, you have your Xbox segment and all that. So a company that is strictly business to business in a world where everything's getting automated is very, very appealing, because that space still has to get governed by some FANG sort of sequence of companies. And this space is prime for that. There's,
it's untapped.
It's untapped.
It's just like there hasn't been enough people looking at it because they see more money in the consumer facing. They see more individuals pulling out their wallets who aren't associated with any businesses, and they see an opportunity there, but no one's looking at the business to business side, or at least as many individuals, or it's just out of reach. People like us who are investors, people like us who understand trends, people like us who see the world differently, identify and notice these companies, and we want to bring it to you because, I mean, look at this study right here. A fifth of tradespeople in the UK lose money due to poor financial administration, which equates to 1.2 billion in losses across the industry.
So count your hours.
Just in UK though. So yeah, definitely count your hours. You can't trust anybody, first of all, especially when it comes to your money. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong.
Everybody makes mistakes.
And just like Hannah Montana said,
everybody has those days.
Everybody has them days. And so ultimately, like, you shouldn't let it stop you, but these companies are creating the solutions to prevent these things from happening.
And if you really think about it, yeah, like you and I, we have some money. We'll spend some $1,000 on iPads and iPods and laptops. But businesses have business expense money. They have that nice, gooey, shiny pocket of cash, wealth expenses. So
for their employees.
For their employees and
for their shareholders.
For their product, and for whatever solutions a company can offer that would make their business scale seamlessly. So it just kind of is a no-brainer.
Oh, a great example, you mentioned it prior to the show, was Salesforce looking at Slack Technologies as an acquisition.
Right. So when you think of Slack and you compare it to Microsoft Teams, I mean,
would you consider Slack a business-to-business technology or business-to-consumer?
Business-to-business.
Right. But it's
also business to consumer.
Right.
They're very like millennial targeted, Gen Z targeted.
But you're not paying for Slack. When you go to a company, your company's paying for it.
It's a business expense.
Because they know people like us, millennials, or what am I, Gen Z or Gen Y?
We're on the cusp.
We're on the cusp, probably. Whatever. People like us will use stuff like Slack, or even older individuals know that Slack is just useful. They'll use it or they'll learn to do it.
Whereas in your Gen X or Boomer, prodigies will probably use Microsoft Teams or
Excel or email.
Or email.
Like, what the hell was using? I mean, why are you using email, dude? But
so inefficient.
I mean, it's
sincerely
it
pineapple jugs.
So the last but not least, I would love to mention Uber for Dirt right here on our spreadsheet. Forgive us, Uber for Dirt. And it's basically an application that removes shady brokers from capitalizing on the market fragmentation. And they also stand to them. What does that mean, ultimately?
Well, I think you meant to say the company is called So Connected.
Well, the company is called So yeah, right.
So we have a company called Soil Connected, and they're basically a Craigslist right now, but they're shooting for an Uber for Dirt type of business model where they're going to cut out the middleman, which the middleman is someone that charges both sides for soil transport, and they just kind of want to make it more peer-to-peer. Like the same business model that Airbnb has or Uber has, where let's say I'm constructing something and I have a bunch of soil of this kind and I have some left over, but I already spent my money on this soil. Let me go on this website. Let me put this soil up for auction. Somebody else is going to want this soil. Let me just transport it to them. Bam. No middleman. I get profits. I break even on what I just spent for this soil. Precisely. So something like that is very enticing for construction companies that spend a lot of money on soil and don't know what to do with the remaining. But also what I think would be a really cool segue would be, let's say you have a lot of compost, which is something very easy to make, and you want some money on the side. You just start your own little compost. Let's say you have a lot of acres of land and you don't pay much for it. You start your own compost and you put that for auction or for sale on this platform. So that is very nice if you don't have any like extra properties that you want to rent out and put on Airbnb, or you don't have like a car with a license, and
or if you're just in the industry and you don't know anything about that stuff.
Exactly.
It's just like a really unique solution for a group of people that seem to have been forgotten.
Yeah.
Construction, hard labor, subcontractors, blue collar, lunch bucket Joe types who basically are not getting the innovations that white collar industries are receiving, like Slack Technologies, for example. I mean, you don't have a Salesforce type business in the construction industry buying a Slack type innovative company. But right now, this Soil Connect is so innovative.
Soil Connect.
I mean, look at it. Based on the Soil Connect, you have dirt in the orange, you have Need Dirt in the yellow, and then My Dirt on the brown. So you, as an it's just like an eBay, a Craigslist for dirt suppliers, like Ellie just mentioned very well. And it really adds more income. And we're talking about farmers. Like, how could this help farmers? How could this help?
Right. Farmers who struggle to make a profit nowadays with all the innovations and all the companies getting to the space. It's very competitive out there.
But it really helps everyone who's just building something and they happen to have extra soil.
Right.
Which is just a fascinating
believe it or not, but there are millions of cubic yards of dirt moved around the country every year. Cubic yards. That's a good amount. I mean, that's whatever number you want to the power of 3.
I mean, and then think about the amount of sand it takes to build an artificial island. Like, that's considered soil in the construction industry.
And the amount of sand you need to refresh a beach shore.
Exactly, right? to combat erosion and all these other complications that globally we're dealing with. So there's many uses for this. And the guys who are transacting, the people who are transacting the soil, the middlemen, are the ones who are taking most of the profits. And what companies like Uber, companies like Airbnb have shown us is that you can take control of it yourself, and the technology empowers you to do so, because there's no excuse anymore for you to be like, I don't know how to sell this old phone of mine anymore. I don't know how to do that. Like, Facebook literally made a marketplace for you to go ahead and do that and sell it.
You can take a course on how to sell.
I mean, you take a course. Yeah,
you can do everything.
You can literally do anything nowadays, and yourself for the most part.
We're just so connected.
100%.
Big Connect.
Like Big Connect, and that leads us to the meme of the week. Bitcoin, just so you know, if you don't know, is around $19,570. Came back from the dip from the Thanksgiving weekend of like around $17,000. Now it's at $19,570.
It broke its record.
It broke a new record. And just to basically do a tribute for our special, we wanted to pull up the meme of the age-old BitConnect real quick. So let me just connect the Bluetooth really quick.
For those of you who don't know, BitConnect was a giant scam back in 2017 when crypto was booming. It was just another one of those companies that proclaimed to be the next billion-dollar investment,
and ultimately never really made it, unfortunately,
like many others. But this one really stuck out to us because it had a really good mascot.
So let's see real quick. I'm just gonna compare this. We didn't really get to the other story, but about the pitch decks and how to formulate an idea. But you know what? I'm gonna take a note on that right now. Formulate ideas.
Do you need a better pen?
And maybe we should just do the next week of it, or I don't know. We could put another video.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Let's just watch this meme and have a good time.
And I am coming from New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited. I am so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be.
I'm dying. I totally messed it up.
We are coming in waves.
I have to take this back. I have to take it
My
back.
life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No, no, no. Be connect. Wow. Be connect.
This guy lost all his money.
We are
All of it. It's gone.
coming in waves. We are starting and we are going to actually go all over the world. We are belting the entire world. Let me tell you guys that I started 137 days ago with only $25,610. And right now I am reaching $140,000. Whoa, what's up?
He just revealed his
And let me tell
whole
you that I am
net
actually
worth
earning around
in public like
around
that.
He did just reveal his whole net worth on stage.
Amazing.
That was crazy.
Oh my god, that's
Let's
a lot
keep
of courage.
going. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
This guy's crazy. He's so great. Oh man.
$1,400 on an everyday basis, 7 days a week. What?
Unbelievable.
I am right now independently, financially independently. I am saying to so many people who said that this was going to be a con artist game, that this was going to be a scammer game. Hey, you're going to lose all your money. My wife still doesn't believe in me. I'm telling him, but honey, listen, this is real. No. That's a scam. And I said, but wait, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to get my Bitcoins. I'm going to actually put it into dollars. Here, they're right on the table. No, that's money that you took from another account. I'll say, what am I going to do? Then I said to myself, you know what? When I am starting to put $10,000 a day on her, right on her, on her table, then she's going to say, whoa! Yeah. Okay, that's real. So guys, I want to tell you something. Faith and belief is the one thing that we all need to be able to change the world. And right now, I believe that in this room, we have the seed that's going to germinate and that's going to explode into an amazing opportunity for us to change this entire world. I am so proud, I am so honored, I am so excited to be here right now. And let me tell you something, that each and every one of you has the opportunity to become like those amazing people that we know here from Vietnam. Hey, my people from Vietnam.
Oh my gosh, I just can't anymore. It's just knowing this guy lost everything.
Every single cent.
And his enthusiasm is so infectious.
And for those of you who don't know, BitConnect was a scam that basically they were a thing. and then they were not, but in the sense that they just disappeared from the face of this planet.
They
and
just
ran
held
away with everyone's money.
They like held your Bitcoin like in their wallets ultimately.
Yeah.
And then they just like disappeared. I mean, this guy Carlos is still a meme to this day, but it just goes to show, it's a testament to how foolish we can be when we have so much conviction in something and have so much confidence. I mean, Bitcoin in and of itself is a great innovation. But when you have subsidiaries or brokers and intermediaries coming into the mix, they can really mess up the virtue of what, say, for example, a virtual currency like Bitcoin brings, or the solution that it brings.
Yeah.
So forget these middlemen. Like, they kind of suck.
Yeah. And remember,
there's only some that are great.
But remember, this is not financial advice. And
Right.
with that, don't invest in Autodesk if you don't feel comfortable. And don't invest in companies like BitConnect unless you do your own research.
Right.
Thanks for listening.
And invest in BitConnect. Wait,